Good evening, traders. Today is Sunday, Sunday the 5th, and we are going to do our evening analysis for the coming week. And let's get this party started. We are going to go in, initially talking about the economic news coming up for this coming week here. But as far as what we're seeing here, from Monday all the way to Friday, the biggest 2 days that we can see some significant news affecting the U.S. market in a meaningful way is Thursday and Friday on the 9th and the 10th. You got in Europe multiple items, red folder meaning it's just very important. And you're looking at a main refinancing rate, monetary policy statement. The biggest one is the ECB press conference, and depending on what they say during that conference, that can have an impact on Europe and in fact affect our price action here in the US. But the big one is unemployment claims. They're looking for 205 in the past 200,000. So that's going to be an important piece of news. And then you got, that's it for the US here. On Friday, CPI and core CPI, then the consumer sentiment numbers. So we're going to keep an eye on Thursday and Friday for economic news. Ultimately, I think, from Monday into Wednesday, you're going to get price action that's kind of anticipatory in its nature into those economic news on Thursday and Friday. So with that, let's take a look at a couple of indices. We're going to focus today on the futures market, YM, NASDAQ, and also we're going to look at DAX, the German market, for a minute here. So when we look at YM, we're seeing channel number 1 and channel number 2. Now, the Harmony trading system triggered an actual sell on this rotation at 33,961, and that happened May the 5th. And the cloud changed color. We had a transitional zone showing the price declining in a stair-step behavior till we reached 520, and the market made a very nice reversal. But at the same time, it did establish channel number 2. So you have channel number 1, then channel number 2, and for it to be more clear for you, that is channel number 1. And then the market made that rally, broke that channel right here at 525, and the price of that break was 31,950. And then we ran into the structure, and then we developed channel number 2. So looking at that, what does that mean? That means that the price action, every trend has 2 channels the majority of the time, and we are at a critical level in which price has to, for the longs, has to protect certain levels. One of them, we need an immediate rush to 33,316. If we continue to trade under that level, basically what the market is doing is made a high in this run-up and made a lower high, and now the price action is ready for a push toward target number 1 within this short system, and then target number 1 will lead to consolidation and a breakdown all the way down to the 520 price action, which is target number 2, 30,755, target number 3, 29,152. Then if you wanna really dream big from the short perspective, you're looking at 24,343, and both those numbers, target 4 and 5, are an outlier event. So it's it's going to take a whole lot of work for us to get down there. 21,137 is a level that we, be honest with you, I don't want to see, because that just like an Armageddon type of price action. Okay, so critical. Next week is critical, and Globex price to open up at 32,886. Globex price is basically the price the market opened up on 5 o'clock Central Time. Right when the market opened for that late session, that is the price that we're talking about. So that level, 33,321.24, tomorrow, the longs need to gather the strength to actually push higher. So you could break target number 2, then meaningful long behavior can start materialize and start to format. Okay, so that's it for us. Now let's assume that the market start to drip lower. What are some of the minor levels that the market can hold? One of them is a 32,648, then the low of 62, which will be 32,487, and then you got the big one at 32,358. All right, so that is YM in a nutshell, and let's take a look at gold. Yes, we're going to look at gold and crude oil as well. So crude oil, gold right here. Same thing. We're seeing channel number 1, and let me just take that off and go into, that's channel number 1. Then the market will establish channel number 2. Big trends, most of them happen with 2 channels. So what is that telling me? Telling me that the market consolidated and made that huge reversal on Friday. Globex opened up and we're just basically in an inside day. An inside day is the high and the low of the Globex session is within the high and the low of the prior session. And typically that's consolidative in nature. What are the targets we're looking for? If we cannot break above 1877, then the market is really at a threat to go all the way down to 1826.2. That is target number 2. Then an outlier event will be 1765.3, and that would be target number 3. If you want to, again, dream big and start looking at a collapse in gold, you're looking at 15,008. I keep saying 15,000 because I'm thinking in terms of the big indices, but it's 1,582.6 and 1,460.8. Okay, so but obviously those levels are an outlier event, and you know the probability of that happening anytime soon without a catastrophic news within the economy, and it's just the probability is low. But what happened if tomorrow, which it seems like it's this concept is across the board, we're looking at that 26, the 1826 we talked about, but the minor moves in it is a push to 1840, then a protection around 1829, then that target at 26. Then you're really you have a whole lot of price structure that is very protective in nature right here. Okay, so they're not just gonna, unless there's something really drastic going on in the market, they're not gonna just hit those levels and not show a bid. Typically they do show a bid. So that's that. And you know what happens if the reverse at 1879, we break that out. So now the market is chewing through these higher levels. And if you break 1948 on a swing trade basis, then that whole structure is shifting from a negative to a positive, and you could see a bullish behavior in gold. Okay, the probability is that we see more of a decline consistent with protection of channel number 2 than the actual reversal. But you have to be prepared with a scenario and a strategy that will address anything that the market could throw at you. From a market running up, what would we do? If the market continues to behave this way, then I'm looking for rallies as a shorting opportunity, because this is the dominant behavior right now in gold, and that dominant behavior is a short behavior. Yeah. So now let's go to our baby, and our baby is NASDAQ. NASDAQ future, it's NASDAQ 100. We trade that on a daily basis in the room, and we're fairly effective at trading that instrument. And what do we see? We see channel number one, channel number two. I just only drew channel number two here, but we could draw channel number one. And so you guys have a reference point. Okay, so that's channel number one, channel number two. Same exact thing that you see in YM. And the idea here is, hey, listen, that reversal on Friday was significant. Actually, this behavior is a lot better than what you saw in YM, because YM behavior is a lower high, and this is actually, they broke that high from which day is that? And this 530, they broke the high up there at 12,886 and a quarter, and we broke all the way to 12,952, and now that reversal happened. So we have an inside day. This market has a target. We hit target number one. Target number two is 11,532. Target number three is 10,263 and a half. Write these numbers. They're significant. If you have the system, you'll be able to see it. Target number four, again, now that's dreaming big, real big in NASDAQ. I mean, 64.56, and target number five, 39.18.5. Wow. I mean, those are big numbers. But be honest with you, I don't see the market doing that. But I could see it coming back and retesting target number two. Then we can see what happened. Ultimately, the longs have to absolutely break 12,952 very quickly here, or otherwise we will see multiple days into next week where the highs are getting sold into pressure that will take us to a couple of levels here. 12,300, right? Then we're going to go to 12,213. Then from there, we're going to go to 12,069.50. So those are three levels. Then after that, you're coming into this structure right here, which is the structure that started from 519 into 525. And then the market will have, typically it will pause, consolidate. Then you got the retest of target number two, and then off to target number three, which is 10,263. That would how the short scenario will play itself out. Now, if we break that 13,000, hey, man, the longs are going to have a day. They are going to have a day, because then we are threatening the whole short structure with an upward stair-step price action to the upside, and the cloud can shift from a negative cloud to a positive cloud, and that would put us in a position where we can, be aggressive on a swing trade basis and look for, big positions in the Amazons and Netflix and all these, high tech companies and big companies that are the component of NASDAQ. Okay, so that's our read on NQ. And let me see here. Let's see, ES. All right. Let's take one more look here at DAX. Yeah, we're talking about DAX. All right. So DAX, that's a whole lot of news. So I love DAX for the fact that the way it's behave, it's fairly predictable, but it's been in such a consolidative mode from March onward to where we at today. Literally, we are in a big range between that 14,800 all the way down to 13,400. So really, the market needs to either break above that 14,800, or come back down and break below 14,100 for the shorts to take control, and anything above 14,800, the longs are going to take control, and you will have more of a trending behavior versus this very schizophrenic behavior, be honest with you. So we talked about ECB news that's coming out on Monday into next week. So that's going to be, if you're watching DAX, you just keep an eye on that number, because DAX is very susceptible to any news from Europe. Obviously, it's an index in Germany. So those are the numbers. Now, if this price continue where it's at, you are going to be experiencing a push toward 13,343. And then if that level does not behave very well, then the 14,131.50 is the next support that can hold the price and show a bit of a bid and a protection bid in and around this transitional zone right here. That's how the market tests. It tests by coming up to this transitional zone, and then, you know, based on how strong that the behavior here, you will have either a continuation trade lower or a reversal in behavior. Okay, so that's DAX, and that's it for this analysis. And if you have any ideas about, or if you have any request of different indices or instrument that you want us to look at in the morning, just let us know. And this is George with the Harmony Trading System. Looking forward to Monday trading. We'll see you either in the live stream on YouTube or in our room, Harmony Trading Room. Okay, you guys have a blessed evening, and we will see you Monday.